Hello friends, this is Amy. Thank you for joining me on my crafting channel, Let's Get Crafting. These are two items that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I picked up this specific sign because of how easy the things were. The paper was already coming off of that wood, and so it made it a lot easier. I didn't even have to flip it over. I painted the front of that with Plaster Waverly Chalk paint. And now I'm just using that antique wax and I'm going to blend it in with that plaster color. And it gives it a little weathered look. Allow that to dry. And now I've got out this very pretty Dollar Tree. I believe these are meant to go on the wall, and they've got a nice stickiness to the back. And as I took off the L, I noticed the O came right along with it, so I really needed to be careful as to where I placed it. The lines on that sign were very helpful to me as to where to place it. And I think we got it. Yeah, the V and the E were also connected. It stuck down very nicely. I put a coat of Mod Podge over the top. I allowed that to dry, and then I just put some twine around both ends. And a little glue on the back. I did put a hanger on it just in case I wanted to hang this up. And there it is. It turned out so pretty and so farmhouse looking. Yeah, I love how it turned out. You can do this. This is easy. Very easy to do. On to the next project, DIY number 2. Okay, this is an item that I've got in my Etsy shop, and this is a 6x6 paper pack. Some of those papers are iridescent, and it's a company. The company is from England, so it'd be kind of hard to find these. If you looked, you probably could, but it may be a little more difficult. Anyway, I chose one of the papers, and I'm going to use this paper to decorate this pretty little birdhouse. I was able to get this whole birdhouse covered with one 6x6 piece of paper. And so basically you're just going to cover it, and you're using the folds that you use for the creases, and you snip, and pretty soon you've got it fitting nicely. And it's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. And this little birdhouse I got from Dollar Tree. They had a bunch of different variety types, and I decided to get this one that had like the 2 rooftops on it. Now once you've kind of got things trimmed down, you can, just use your thumb and just kind of find, okay, there's the birdhouse hole, and I'm just trying to make an imprint. And once I had the hole there, then I could really use my fingers to try and make the rest of it, and then you just trim it down. Trim off all that extra paper that kind of been broken through. I got out the Aleene's glue and just went with a little popsicle stick, applied it with the popsicle stick, and then I had another dry one that I pressed things into place with. I didn't show all that. I'm just painting the roof and the little platform that it sits on, all with the Waverly white. And I'm going to, once that was all dry, I did go back with the Waverly antique wax to give it a little bit of a weathered look. This one was very fun and relaxing to do. I encourage you to pick up those little birdhouses because there's so much you can do with them. The sky is the limit. And then it needed some Spanish moss. I really wanted like the green kind like where you could make it look like there's actually something growing, but I didn't have any. So this is the brown, where it's a little more drier. It still looks cute. It totally looks like something a bird would do. And a little bit in the hole. And then I had these little birds on hand. My sister was cleaning and she was going to throw them away, and so I took them. Just little glue, hot glue, to let it sit in place. Now these little buttons are, I bought through my friend. She sells close to my heart. Her name is Mary. And I'll put a link because they're so cute. They've got, different sizes and shapes with that. The little heart was adorable. And this yarn I also got at Dollar Tree, and I just took and divided it down so it wasn't as thick, and I popped it on there with some hot glue, and I called it good. Another cute little spring piece from my home. This was easy to do, folks. So much fun. Crafting is fun. It's good for you. It gives you a sense of purpose, and you've got something when you're done. And when you go to Dollar Tree, you get economical things that you can work on. If you mess it up, it's okay. It was $1. Just such good stuff. DIY number 3. Okay, these cute little rolling pins. I believe I got a package of 4, I think it was, at Hobby Lobby, using the Waverly Colors ink, which is the black, and then again that antique wax, and I'm just going to stain the handles. I didn't even want to get a brush messy, so I'm just using a paper towel. And then I'm using the Waverly ink color, and I'm going to put that on the rolling part. I only needed 1 coat, and allow that to dry. And then this was stickers I had on hand. If you see cute stickers, pick them up, because then you're not getting the Cricut out, or if you don't have a Cricut, you don't need a Cricut. I mean, there's some things a Cricut's really nice for, but for this kind of thing, you've got them. And so they had both the large font and, not the large font, but the uppercase and the lowercase. So to give it a little difference, I used both of them. And then just simply put on some cute ribbon, buffalo check, black and white, of course. Tie little bows, you're good to go. This is going to go in my tiered tray. And here it is. I thought it looked so cute. Yep, turns out it looked really nice. And we're getting ready for Valentine's Day here. I've got my little cup up there with its hat. That came from Penny Lynn. DIY number 4. Okay, and now I'm just taking another Dollar Tree item, and I'm going to be making a little wooden box, basically. And you can see the steps. I'm just making a bottom to the box, and I cut down these square pieces I had. These are going to be the sides, become the sides of the box, using both wood glue, and that one I just used wood glue. I had my husband Ed, he helped me use his, he's got a new brad gun, and we just pop those in, one in each leg, in that, right where it looks like they're legs. It stayed very nicely, and so then I could carry on and continue making the sides of my box. And what I did is I used the short-term, long-term hold. I used a little bit of wood glue, and I used the hot glue to make it stay, so it could hold and last. And just cutting these down by hand, just using a sharp blade, cutting it on a little scrap piece of wood. And it took a little time, but it was fun to do. And this is where I would cut the other end. I just flipped it over, and then I just trimmed it off with that sharp blade. Okay, everything's put together, it's secure. And now I'm going to use that plaster color of Waverly paint. I gave it 1 coat, that's all it needed. I didn't do the inside of it. And then I did go over it with that antique wax once again, a dry brush. I just think that adds a little bit of, the weathered look, of course, and makes it look a little more farmhouse. I love how that little box turned out. Well, we've got to put something in it. So then I got my flowers out. I have just been recently to a Dollar Tree, so I've got some fun flowers I can put in there. Look at these hydrangeas, baby's breath, and these are just like boxwood. Just trim those down. I like to separate them rather than put a bunch in there. Then you can, make it look, put the flowers where you want. It actually works a whole lot easier if you separate things. And then I'm just trimming as needed, the length. Start long, and then if you need to trim it down, you can. And then where there's a hole, you can pop in more flowers or some of that boxwood. And then this is just one of those little signs from Dollar Tree. It's a chalkboard. And I took the clip off the back, and we're just going to put fresh flowers. I hot glued that onto the front of the little box and called it good. I love how this little thing turned out too. Very spring-like with the colors I chose and very farmhouse-like. And you know what? If I get tired of this, I could change everything out or flip it around and put different things in it. Just a fun little project that you can do. You saw how easy it was. Very inexpensive. I want to thank you, friends, for stopping. And please, if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye, friends.